Hello, my friends. This lesson is going to be for classifying angles. For this lesson, you will need your math notes out, please. Your math notes, a writing utensil. We have some vocabulary that we really need to understand in this lesson. So, our lesson is about classifying angles. We have some words here. We have supplementary, complementary, vertical, and adjacent. Okay. And then we also have these types of angles, and these are angles according or types of angles according to their size. And then you see down here as well, we probably will not be using reflex angle, but we will be using all of the rest of these. So at this time, if you could pause your screen, and you will be needing to write the words supplementary, complementary, vertical, adjacent, acute, right, obtuse, straight, and those will be all your vocabulary that you will need to write at this time. So pause your video and write those vocabulary words. And then when you are done with those, I will be continuing on with the lesson. All right, so we are back with the lesson. So we have some vocabulary that are going to be a little tricky. So we've got to make sure that we write down the definitions and maybe even an example or two. At any time, please pause this video and write these down. It is something you must do for geometry. All right, so we have a vertical angle. Okay, so vertical is going to be two angles that are exactly the same, but they are opposite of each other. So here we see that angles 2 and 4 are vertical. Angles 1 and angle 3 are vertical with each other. Okay, so that means angle 1 is the same as angle 3. Angle 2 is the same measure as angle 4. If angle 2 was 120 degrees, then angle 4 would also be 120 degrees. They are congruent, which means they are exactly the same. If angle 2 is 120, we might have to figure out what angle 1 is. We know that a straight line is 180 degrees. We learned that a couple weeks ago. However, if this part, angle 2, is 120, we would need to find out what angle 1 is. Angle 1 is the difference between 180 minus 120. We know that a straight line angle is 180. Subtract off what you do know, subtract 120. Therefore, angle 1 is 60 degrees. This straight line right here is 60 plus 120. That equals 180. And we know that vertical angles are congruent or equal to each other. So that means that angle 3 is 60 degrees. Angle 4 is 120. Okay, so we need to know vertical and congruent. Vertical, two angles that are opposite of each other, but they also have the same measures. Congruent means has the same measures. Vocabulary word number 2, adjacent. Adjacent. Two angles are adjacent if they share a common vertex, a common side, and do not overlap. So the word adjacent can actually mean next to. So two angles are adjacent if they are next to each other. They really don't share anything special other than one is next to two. Okay, so they're next to, they're adjacent. In this case, they also happen to be equal to a straight line. So if we have this straight line right here, we know that angle 1 plus angle 2 all has to equal 180 degrees. You can name an angle by its vertex and by its point. So I can say that this angle is angle 2. I can say that this angle is angle 1, angle 4, angle 3. Once again, I know that angle 2 and angle 4 are congruent because they are vertical. I know that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent because they are vertical. And next slide. So now when I classify angles, I have to be able to name them in multiple ways, and I have to be able to know whether they are acute, obtuse, right, or straight. Now, you may need to stop your video and write these definitions down. Okay. If an angle is acute, it is less than 90. An angle that is 90 degrees is exactly 90 degrees, and it is called a right angle. If we have an angle that is more than 90 degrees, then we call it an obtuse angle. And an angle that is one straight line looks like so, 180 degrees. Once again, you need to write down these definitions. Acute is less than 90. Right is exactly 90. Obtuse is more than 90. And straight is exactly 180, one straight line. Once again, here is Math Antics over here. If you need to stop this video and watch this, please do so. He talks about all sorts of angles. So I need to classify this angle in 4 ways. So in this case, I have angle A, B, C. I have the angle 2, as you can call it here. I can say it's angle CBA, and I can say that he is a right angle. Letter B. I say that this is angle RST. I can say that it is angle TSR. I can say that it is angle 3. And I can say that he is obtuse. At this time, pause your video and do number 3 on your own. Write it over here. When you are finished, you can unpause the video and we will go over it. Okay, letter C. He is angle 4. He is angle LMN. He is angle NML. And he is a straight line angle. Remember, each of these can also be called by the middle letter. This is an angle M. This is angle S. And this is angle B. And next slide. All right, so let's take these step by step. It says to identify a pair of vertical angles and adjacent angles in the diagram at the right. Justify your response. Okay, so if we are going to do that, there we go. A pair of vertical angles. Angle 1 is vertical with angle 3. Remember, they are opposite and they are equal. Angle 4 is congruent with angle 2. They are opposite and they are equal. Now you will do letter D. It says refer to the diagram in example 2. Identify different pairs of vertical and adjacent angles. Justify your response. All right, so angle 1 and 3 are opposite angles, and they are also vertical angles. Angle 4 and 2 are opposite angles, and they are vertical angles. Angle 1 is adjacent, Angle 1 is adjacent with angle 4. They form a straight line. Angle 1 is adjacent with angle 2, next to angle 2. Angle 2 is adjacent to angle 3. They are next to each other. And angle 3 is adjacent to angle 4. They are next to each other. Adjacent simply means next to. Okay, so we will go on to the next slide. So we are going to find a missing measure, and here's where your algebra will come in handy. It says you can use what you have learned about vertical and adjacent angles to find the value of the missing measure. What is the value in the figure? Okay, so what do I know about this? I know that angle 2x plus 2 is exactly the same as 130. Why? They are vertical angles. Vertical angles are equal. So I have 2x plus 2, and he is equal to 130 degrees. And this is a two-step equation. So I will subtract 2 and subtract 2. And so we get 2x equals 128. This is a multiply. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 64. Now, this can be done exactly the same way with the other set of angles. So in this case, I want you to find out what y is. I will have you pause the video, try it on your own Classic slides or on your paper, and you will set up the vertical angles pertaining to y exactly the same way. Go ahead and pause your video, work on your problem, and I will be back with you in just a second. Okay, so looking at the y, we'll do this one up here. We know that 3y minus 10 equals 50. Why is that? Well, we know that 3y minus 10 is vertical to 50 degrees. And if they are vertical, they are exactly the same measure. So we know that 3y minus 10 equals 50. And I'm going to solve this, and I have plus 10, and I have plus 10. My 10s cancel out. I have 3y equals 60. And to solve that, that is a multiplication problem. So I will divide both sides by 3. A little bit of messy writing there. And so I end up with y equals 20. All right. And let's continue on. All right. So what is the value of x shown in the sidewalk? Remember, this is a straight line. Oops, sorry about that. This is a straight line. What do we know about straight lines? We know that they equal 180 degrees. So I know that from here all the way around to here has to be 180 degrees. So that means 5x plus 115 equals 180. You will write that out as a problem. Go ahead and do that now on your paper. 5x plus 115 equals 180. All right, and we know it's 180 because 180 is a straight line from here all the way to here. Straight line angles are always 180. That is review. I will subtract 115 from both sides. And I have 5x. Let's go ahead and do this. 115 from both sides. And we end up with 5x equals 65. 5x equals 65. Sorry about that. And what do I do to solve this problem? Well, this is a multiply because they are next to each other, so I divide. Divide by 5, divide by 5. X equals 13. So x equals 13. Okay, at this time, I would like for you to do the guided practice, problems 1 and 2, on your Classic screens, please. Pause your video, and we will come back together. All right, so here we go. Number 1, it says name the angle in 4 ways. Then classify it as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. I am going to name this angle as angle DEF, angle FED. So remember we use the angle symbol, angle FED, angle 2, or angle E. And if I had to tell what kind of angle he would be an acute angle. He is less than 90. For number 2, it says find the value of x in the figure. I know that these are vertical angles, so 100 is exactly the same as 2x plus 4. If it is the same, I can set them up equal to each other. 2x plus 4 equals 100. And I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. And so I end up with 2x equals 96. And that means I divide both of them by 2, and x will equal 48. So the value of x in the picture is 48 degrees. Okay. Going on to slide number 7. All right, so you have several problems here to work on, and so you have to name them 4 ways. And then on the bottom, you have to look at this figure right over here, and you are going to tell whether it is adjacent, vertical, or neither, each of the angle pairs that you see there. Go ahead and pause your video, work on this, and then we will come back together. All right, here we go. Angle 4 ways. This is angle ABC, angle CBA, angle B, and angle 4. It is an acute angle. Number 2, it is angle DEF. Supposed to be an F there. Angle FED. It is angle E or angle 5, and it is a right angle. I have problem number 3. I have angle MNP, angle PNM. I have angle N or angle 1, and he has an obtuse angle. So referring down here, I have to know whether he is adjacent, vertical, or neither. So angle 2 with angle 5. And we're going to say that those are they are vertical. Angle 2 and angle 5 are vertical. Okay, get rid of that. Angle 4 with angle 6. Well, are they next to each other? No. Are they opposite of each other? No. So that would make them neither. Angle 3 and angle 4. Are they opposite each other? No. Are they next to each other? Yes. That would make them adjacent. Adjacent means next to. Number 7. We have angle 5 with angle 6. Are they opposite of each other? No. Are they next to each other? Yes. Next to each other means adjacent. Number 8, angle 1 with angle 3. So are they across from each other? No. Are they next to each other? No. And that makes them neither. Number 9, we have angle 1 with angle 4. Are they next to each other? No. Are they across from each other? Exactly across from each other? Yes. That makes them vertical. Once again, if they are vertical, that also means they are exactly the same measures. Okay, looking at the next slide here, we have, there we go. All right, what is the value of x in the figure at the right? You would set up your problem as 2x plus 6 equals 80. Number 11, what is the value of x in the figure at the right? This one's a little tricky. We've got to look at this. We know that this is one straight line going across here. And if it's one straight line, we know that that is 180 degrees. If it's 180 degrees, then we know that 15 plus 5x equals 180. And we will solve it from there. What is the value of x in the picture? Well, this little guy right here is going to be the key to everything. We know that 2x plus 38 has to equal 90. 2x plus 38 has to equal 90. And there is your two-step equation. And you will subtract 38 from both sides, and then you will divide both sides by 2. Number 23 says, what is the value of x in the figure at the right? We know that this angle is vertical to this angle. Vertical angles are exactly the same. So we know that 12x minus 3 equals 105. 12x minus 3 equals 105, and we would solve it from there. And you should have several words for vocabulary now in your notes. Your last objective for today will be to complete the worksheet and hold on to it for us to go through the very next day. Thanks, friends. Have a good day.